All right, so we're in 8.4. We're talking about logarithms and we're solving for x. So we see here, let's take a look at letter E. We see here that we have an x deep inside. We have two x's inside the square root that's inside a logarithm. So it might be a little tricky to get in there, but what we see, and this is very, very important, is we see that we have a log on one side. We have this big logarithm, and then we have just a regular number, right? So that is our key. That is our key to look at converting this to an exponential equation. So we start with the base, and we say 2 to the power of this number on this side, 2 to the power of 5 over 2, equals whatever we're taking the logarithm of here, all of this. So square root x squared plus 4x. Okay, so we got rid of the log. It's just a regular equation now, so that's looking better. Now this is still a bit tricky, I would say here. This number right here, but it's just a number. So if you notice that we have a square root on one side, and we have also a square root over here. You see this? That's technically divided by 2 there in the exponent. That's actually square root, isn't it? It's the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to square both sides. Square and square. So what does that do? Well, the squared gets rid of the square root, or even if it was over 2, you multiply those, power raised to a power. So this is just 2 to the 5, okay? And this squared gets rid of the root sign over here, so we got x squared plus 4x. So now it's looking pretty close to quadratic, right? This is 32. Let's bring it over to this side. So we've got 0 equals x squared plus 4x minus 32. And we've got a trinomial equaling 0, so we could use the quadratic formula if you want. You could graph this and find the x-intercept, or you could factor by sight. So again, quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You guys remember that? And you could just plug in your a is 1, b is 4, c is negative 32. Throw that in there, find out what x is. Or this one looks, I think, pretty straightforward. We probably could factor this by sight, and that's going to look kind of like this. Two binomials, multiply. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 32, add to 4. So x times x is going to give us x squared. This looks like it's going to be plus 8 minus 4, right? 8 times 4 is 32. 8 minus 4 is positive 4. So x algebraically is going to be negative 8 and positive 4. And of course you want to check to see if either of those numbers are extraneous. And what I mean by that, of course, is if you plug in any of these x values into your original equation, and if it results in taking the log of a negative value, if this is negative, then that's no good. So let's just check that real quick. Negative 8, that's going to be 8 squared is 64 minus 32, so that's good. 4 squared plus 4, yeah, okay, so that's 32. So we're good. Looks like either of these x values are going to work. So you could check it out various ways by actually checking out algebraically, or you could check graphically. You could let this side equals y equals, and this side equals y equals, and check the intersection point or points, and you should have 2 points if this is correct. Or you can just check the back of the book, I guess, and see if they're right. But those are the ways on a test that you could check. Algebraically, put those numbers in, and see if left side equals right side. You could graph, see if the intersection points, the x values, are these ones right here.